Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and today I'm going to talk about the snap-on extensions that fit into their screwdriver system. Now Snap-on makes two screwdrivers right now, basically the fixed handle and the adjustable handle that have removable bits. These just pop out. They do have a whole line of hard-handled ratcheting screwdrivers, but these don't come out, although there is a way you can modify them so they come out. I might do that later. But anyway, a lot of people are just using kind of these like 11-in-1 screwdriver systems, have a bunch of reversible bits, but it's super handy to have a screwdriver handle, especially ratcheting one, that allows you to insert a bit for whatever your job is. So let's take a look at the bits here. They're the standard bit holding tips that come in three different sizes. Right here you can see kind of short, medium, and long. Excellent retention on the magnets, definitely high quality. These also can be used with sockets. I'll show you, or with a socket ratchet. I'll show you how to do that. But why you may want a different size, these are pretty good sized handles. You know, if you're comparing it to a regular screwdriver handle, it's kind of on the large side. So it's nice to have a short, stubby bit holder compared to, actually I can show you both. So there's this one, throw a bit in it so you can see. And then let's do this guy here. So you can see the difference. And this is already a pretty big screwdriver. So this just makes it even bigger. That can be great. That's kind of the form factor, similar of these guys as far as the bit length, but the handle's shorter on the non-ratcheting. And so you can get bit holders, standard for screwdrivers. Then you can also buy bits, you know, that are designed for these. Of course, if you strip one of these out or bend it or something, you have to get the whole thing warrantied. It's one of the reasons you use the, they're easily replaceable bits, because these aren't cheap. You can get them in different sizes, Phillips and standard. But they're really handy. You know, they turn this into a much better screwdriver for a lot of work that's going to require the same size bit. And then on the other side, you can put in a this is a 1/4-inch square on both sides. So if I put that in, now I've turned this into a socket driver. This comes in basically one size, but you can kind of modify these things depending on what you want to do, or use a standard bit, 1/4-inch bit converter, 1/4-inch to 1/4-inch hex to 1/4-inch square. But anyway, this comes in really handy, because then you can just grab your sockets and then head out and do whatever you need to do using something like this. And that's actually where I find this handle works. The bending of it works really well, is with sockets. So what else can you do? Well, it has a flexible handle, or I mean a flexible bit too. So if I was using this in a situation where I needed to work around something, or try to get into a spot that there was no straight line, I could easily do this, and then that solves that problem. I can also do this with a bit by using one of the bit converters. So basically all it is a hex, 1/4-inch hex on one side, 1/4-inch square on the other, so I can use it this way. So now I've got a really kind of an unusual screwdriver. Can come in very handy. I don't know the strength on this. I've pushed it pretty hard and it hasn't failed, but it is a flexible shaft, so maybe get things started. Another thing is, with these small bit converters, I can put it on a 1/4-inch ratchet. Now I've got the world's greatest small screwdriver, I think. Super strong, easy to use. Of course, I can also use longer ones on here. I can put about any 1/4-inch. And then I can use different ratchet handles as well. Here's a long 1/4-inch. which then gives me a, the ability to speed wrench something like this, and then just drop down a little bit and crank it to what I want. You do notice that because you have to go back and forth with the lever, that getting it precision tightened takes a little bit of effort. Sometimes that's where it's nice to go back to a standard screwdriver where you can lock it in position and then easily move back and forth to your own precision. And of course, you don't have to have anything fancy. You could also use your old 1/4 inch, driver like that. I can then reverse this, and I can use this as a screwdriver now, or I can use this as a standard bit holder for anything longer. If I want to go to one of these standard, whoops, not those, there's a bit, this one will work. Just turn it into a quick bit driver so it's less tools. Just simply with all the pieces, having them handy allows you to interchange it. Now, one of the things I'll point out with, especially the long one, it doesn't have a locking mechanism here, like this one does, that would allow me to lock in a bit. This is just straight magnetic, but it also is incredibly low in profile. Now, on the back side, you can see that this one here is the 1/4 inch hex, whereas this is a 1/4 inch square. So these do not fit. The other brands like Milwaukee or Diablo don't fit into the ratchet handles. They don't work there. However, if I wanted to use something like this, I can use my conversion bit and say a square here. Whoops. For some reason they only go in one way, which is odd. And then drop that in, and then check that out. All the way out there, which gives me, an instant cabinet screwdriver with a ratcheting handle. It can come out. As you can see, it doesn't stay in super hard, but as far as twisting, torquing, super strong. And then, of course, all these can be used with the small handle, too, and sometimes that's super handy. Most of the time, you're using a little bit driver with it, but this is actually a powerhouse right here. I've got a really nice ratcheting handle, stubby handle, with interchangeable bits, so I could even go all the way out to here. It's going to open up some worlds you might not have explored with your screwdrivers yet. Definitely something to think about. And then, if you want to expand this even further, you can use, say, this is a Snap-on bit extension kit, which allows you a few more things. I could use this particular converter here, which allows me to go into any of these to drop it into a socket. But also, if I go into here, just extended it. So I've got a tiny little extension if I wanted, or I can keep this ready to go to just drop it into whatever I'm working with, including something like that, which actually this is locked in. You see, I pulled the socket right off of it. So now I've got a really long, drill-friendly extension. So you can explore some of those. The Snap-on, however, if you look, just has the magnet in it. So even when you're using something that's got a strong, or the capability of a locking mechanism, doesn't quite work. Snap-on has this little doohickey that allows you to lock in the bolt, or the bit, but this doesn't particularly lock in tight unless you're using one of these systems, and now that's in there so tight you have to use a punch to get the hole out of it. So, the bit off. That's a great option, and of course there are lots of other companies. This is Milwaukee Shockwave set. I could take one of their drill bits if I wanted and drop that in. I could actually, that's with the let's go this guy right here. So I've got a super long bit driver here, and now I've got a ratcheting mechanism this long that allows me to very carefully and precisely operate a drill bit, or any of the other Milwaukee pieces, or any of the other bits. So I've got a ton of different choices, and definitely a nice set to grab and go. I do find that the prices are a little steep on these guys. I mean, this is, I can't remember, this is 30, 40 bucks or something just for an extension. That's why I've mentioned I keep an eye on some of the other companies, but the quality and the precision, the flow from, you know, the shaft into the magnet area, just wonderful. And they've got super strong magnets, so always check the magnets. You know, you really should be able to reef on those things. And the last thing I'll point out is that the bit sets, you can buy the snap-on screwdriver handles alone, or you can buy them with one of the bits. Price is not huge, but think about whether or not you want a longer one or a shorter one when you're using the maybe original screwdriver. And notice, like, what I can do here, I can get a longer bit. There's tons of these available. So now I'm almost matching it, even though I've got the shorter shaft. So I've kind of got the best of both worlds, and I can even do this. Now I've got an even longer bit out of a short shaft. So keep that in mind. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Doc out.